About 70% of all women will experience fibroids and the extreme pain that comes along with them. Many say it hurts their sex life, even their marriages. It's the unspoken side effect that we are bringing to light today, moving past the shame and silence to start the healing. Take a look at this.
I do suffer from fibroids. The bleeding, pain, intense, these things seem to become a hindrance on our intimate life. This brings us to fighting and frustration and just a lot of miscommunications and a lot of misunderstandings.
I'm feeling frustrated. I'm not sure if she is used as an excuse. When I'm trying to be intimate, she tells me she hurts. I feel bad for her when she says she's bleeding or in pain. It's all the time. I'm feeling that it may be me, not the excuses.
Marcy and her husband Kenny are here. Gynecologist Dr. Jessica Shepard is also here to help you and every woman watching at home dealing with these painful fibroids. You said it was painful to hear him say that.
It was very painful to hear him say that. I didn't realize it affected him the way it did.
Okay, you're newlyweds. You want to be intimate with your partner. You realize that your wife has these diagnosed fibroids. How did it affect you?
Well, I didn't know what they were at first, and it hurts me to see the pain. I don't know what to do about it. And then the excuses, you think that it's you instead of, her pain, that she's using excuses. And it's hard to deal with. And then fighting, arguments.
So, Kenny, I'm just going to pick a word that you're using, excuse. I hear that. I think there's a little bit of blame in that. That if you weren't having this issue, we'd be okay. Is this really a problem, or is it just an excuse? There's a little judgment in there. Do you feel that?
Yes, but like I said, at times things just ramble through your head. You think that it's an excuse, that don't want to be with you, or it goes for a long time where you don't have that.
Dr. Jessica, this is not the first husband you've met who has a hard time understanding fibroid pain. We don't have fibroids.
So when women come into my office, often the pain and the pressure that they go through, or the bleeding that just completely can shut out date night, is commonly what I hear. But Kenny, do you hear when she says that she feels that there might be some blame involved in what she's saying? Does that move you at all?
Being blamed and stuff, I don't know how to put it.
It can feel,
your mind runs wild with it.
On your relationship, and when you hear him say these things, I can understand through your frustration and maybe even sometimes anger that she feels that is blame, but that takes away from what can be some of the best parts of your relationship, which is intimacy. But she really is trying to let you know that this is something she's going through.
I feel bad if she feels I'm blaming her, putting any kind of blame on her, but things also go through my head when it happens constantly.
Well, I hope today that we can make some breakthrough in order for you to maybe see what she's going through so it can have some impact on your relationship.
I would love that.
Absolutely.
So, Kenny, remember when you said in sickness and in health?
Yes.
It's one of those moments.
It is.
And it's easy to see the failings of your partner, but it's not always easy to understand why there's an issue. So I want to show you what these really look like. Because not just you, me, and everybody else, all the other guys out there need to get this. So if you can, please have these. Thank you. So I brought you a little present, Kenny.
Yeah.
And here's some gloves, which I encourage you to put on. And this is what a uterus with fibroids looks like. Now, these are bigger than a lot of fibroids. Some fibroids are quite small. They're like little peas. So go ahead and hold that up.
Do you feel how they're bulky and how they have some weight to them? So the uterus, if you turn that over the other side, it's very, very hard.
So you can imagine bumping into this and creating some issues.
So even during intimate moments, when those fibroids are really large and they really go down into the pelvis, deep down into the pelvis, those are things that she can feel during intimate moments. And that's why she might have pain during sex and sometimes even the bleeding.
That actually hurts my uterus now, looking at how big they are. It hurts.
So, Kenny, ball's in your court. What do you think?
What can we do about it? How do we...
That's such a male thing to say. What can we do about it? How do we fix this and move on? You can't fix a feeling until you feel it. So if your wife, and again, this is about your intimacy, but more importantly, your love. Because I don't want the relationship being hurt because of a medical problem. So she needs to feel that you love her, and I gotta say, she has to feel that you trust her.
I do love her, and I didn't understand what fibroids were, or what they were. Like, nobody ever explained this.
Your beautiful wife needs to hear from you, not me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I do understand.
Yes, they're not fun.
I want everyone to stay tuned, call your friends, and tell them to tune in, because 70% of women will experience a fibroid in their lifetime, and Dr. Jessica has some new treatment options that everyone needs to be aware of. We're back talking about how to overcome painful sex caused by fibroids. OBGYN and sexual health expert Dr. Jessica Shepherd is here to help. Here's the deal, guys. When you're addressing painful intercourse from fibroids, it's important to start by knowing your options to shrink or even eliminate those fibroids themselves. Gets rid of the problem. So Dr. Jessica has some options for women who do not want a hysterectomy. Of course, if you want to have kids, you can't have a hysterectomy. So Dr. Jessica, explain a couple of these procedures.
Which I think is important, because women who don't want a hysterectomy have all these options. So the myomectomy is probably one of the ones that most people know about. And what we do is, this surgical procedure can be an incision on the abdomen or minimally invasive, where we use the laparoscopic or the robotic procedure. But what we're doing here is we're essentially going into the abdomen and pelvis and looking for that fibroid. So you can see that those instruments there are actually going towards that fibroid, and they're cutting it out. They're cutting out that fibroid, but we're still preserving the uterus. Therefore, you can still use it for childbearing purposes after.
Next option, the uterine artery embolization.
Yeah, this one many women don't know about. So as you see these major vessels, the interventional radiologist will put a catheter into and shoot all these pellets. You see all those pellets and beads going to the blood supply. They go right to the fibroid and cut off that blood supply. Therefore, that fibroid can shrink and shrivel up and get small.
Yes. So these are animations we showed, and 80% of women who have one of these non-surgical embolizations reported improving their sex life. 80%. They're actually measuring this stuff. That's how real it is. So it's not an excuse. The newest technique, though, is something called radiofrequency ablation.
Yeah, and this one I'm so excited about. I actually do this procedure, but this is new and innovative because it's a laparoscopic procedure, and it's done same day. Women go home.
That's the fibroid.
Yes, this is the fibroid right here. This is the actual radiofrequency ablation device that we put into the fibroid under ultrasound guidance while we're doing the surgery. And what it does is it delivers energy through electrodes right into the fibroid, therefore, again, causing it to shrink.
You can see it sort of almost frying this area.
Yeah.
It's like a raisin shriveling up. All right, so how do you get the intimacy back in the meantime while you're waiting for treatment? Husband and wife, Kenny and Marcy, are back. Marcy's been diagnosed with painful fibroids. You guys have had some issues in your sex life.
Yes.
I want to point something out. The fact that they're measuring, Kenny, this is important, measuring how much sex is improved with these procedures means it's a problem for a lot of people. So words like excuse, which I can understand why it slips out, it's just painful. And if we're cognizant of it, it won't happen. Which is how the most important bond, the love bond, stays intact.
Yes.
We're on the same page.
Yes, I put a lot of blame on her, and it shouldn't have been happening.
I think he got it.
I think he did, Dr. Oz.
All right. So Jessica's going to get you all on track. The first is embracing the self-care regime. This is not soft, fuzzy wizzies. This is real stuff.
This is real stuff. Mindfulness is really where medicine is going today, and I want you to take that time to improve your self-care routine, whether that's taking yoga, whether that's seeing a therapist, taking a walk. Really implementing those things into your daily routine really takes you out of the situation and makes you feel better about yourself.
I'm willing to
run towards this.
Yes.
Number two, gonna add some things to your daily. Actually, what would you do right now about other things that Dr. Jessica mentioned?
Oh, definitely exercising.
Yeah.
I think that would kind of help with the core. I'd love to try any type of food to kind of enhance, and I'm thinking about that little surgery thing you got going on over there.
Yeah.
Small.
I like it.
That's great.
And some of those things you can do together, not the surgery, but the other stuff you can do together. All right, foods, plant-based diets make a difference.
Plant-based diet, actually, we know that that's really going to help. So green leafy vegetables, making sure you have a plant-based diet with your beans and your legumes. Also green tree extract and teas, that has antioxidants in there. That's really going to give you the energy that you need, especially when you're anemic.
Yeah, that's great.
And there are lots of plant-based foods now that they look like chicken. Right? They look like hamburgers, and they're all plant-based. So you don't have to even give up the normal foods. But if you want to deal with the fibroids, deal with the relationship, and have some kids, it's worth making the investment. Become the world expert in plant-based foods.
And both of you can do that.
Yes.
Finally, the moment Ken's been waiting for the entire time.
Yes, we waited for the
These are intimate acts that you can do that might help the relationship. I'm going to let Jessica talk about this, and I'll stay out of it.
Absolutely. So, again, we talked about self-care, but now we want intimate moments where you two are going to be able to enjoy each other, right? You want to enjoy each other. This is what this whole thing is about, right, Kenny?
Yes.
We want to enjoy each other. So that's going to make sure that when you have those intimate moments that you're taking the time to make sure that she's ready, taking time by using things like massage oils, taking a bath together, making sure that you're actually prepping the moment so that it's more comfortable, and then also you're using everything that you can in your power to make sure that she's comfortable and she knows that there's no moments where you think you're going to blame her or that she's coming up with an excuse, right? Seems to be your favorite word. We're going to take that word out of your vocabulary, but we want you to use things such as massage oils, taking a bath together, taking time for each other in your intimate moments.
Where does this go?
We are going to make sure that we give them all the tools for all of this.
You take that, and figure that out.
And you take this one, right?
All right, now.
I'll take this one. I don't know where that
Those aside, there is something that's really important. You felt the fibroids, right?
Yes.
So there's actually a physical element to this. So the position, as you get intimate, might make a difference.
And most women who have a really big fibroid, especially if it's on the front or the back of the uterus, that really can play a part when you're sleeping, right? When you're resting, you can feel kind of that shifting of the uterus because it's so heavy. So using actual blankets or pillows like this that can actually elevate or allow you to rest maybe your legs in between them, that actually can displace some of that pressure and make you feel better when you're resting after you have your intimate moments with each other, right, Kenny?
Yes.
Yes.
Marsh, thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Ken, thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
The world. Dr. Jessica, lots of advice, great advice. We're going to put the complete guide to fighting fibroids with all your options on DrOz.com. We'll be right back.